Hey guys, it's Spyro4 here. Today we're checking out the ATK A9 Air. In this video I'll be comparing it to previous ATK mice as well as the original shape of the G Pro X Superlight. And for this release specifically, I can finally say that this is finally better than the G Pro X Superlight, and I'll tell you why. And in the box this time with this release, we're getting plenty of accessories. The updated 8K polling rate receiver, obviously a braided Type-C cable and the normal grip tapes, but what's special here is that you get two pairs of large PTFE skates. I already applied the first one, as you can see, because it does not come applied. Not just that, you also get dot skates and a pair of medium skates, which is in my opinion very generous. I also bought the ATK U2 V2 recently, and it did not come with these extra two skates. Let's go talk about the shape design a little bit compared to the G Pro X Superlight. It's obviously a 100% clone. I'm not going to compare it too much. The only difference I can feel in terms of the grip is basically when I palm grip the mouse, I feel like this part right here above the logo is a little bit higher by like 1 millimeter, and you just kind of, I feel it on my knuckle here, and that's pretty much the only difference I can feel. The side button positioning is the same. The scroll wheel is a little bit smaller than the Superlight, and also keeping in mind that the A9 Air only costs $79, which is half the price of the Superlight. Talking a little bit about the design of this mouse, it comes in the black and white, the one I chose right here, as well as the orange one that looks really sick, but I chose this one for the clickbait since the upcoming Logitech Super Strike looks exactly like this, and ATK was like, "Stole that. That's what I do." And in my personal opinion, I feel like there's too much writing on the shell. Maybe this dragonfly shouldn't be there. There's two A9 Airs here, one on the click, one on the side. I feel like one of them is enough. And ATK logo on the side is like the usual with any ATK mouse, and the logo in the middle. I'm a big fan of those, it's fine. Anyways, the mouse comes in three variants, the A9 Ultra Max, the Ultimate, and the Air. The Ultra Max comes in mechanical switches and the $33.95. Nobody's gonna buy that. And even though it's cheaper by $10 compared to the Ultimate and the Air, all these three variants have the same Nordic 54L15 MCU, which is great, but all these variants have different switches. The Ultimate has the customized optical switches, which is the FEs, I believe, and the A9 Air that I have right here has the ATK Swiftlight optical switches, which are basically the Kale version of the optical switches, and I'm going to talk exactly about the feeling of those in a second. For the Air version here, it has a 300 milliamp hour battery, which reduced the weight all the way to 47. They claim to be 47 actually, but on my scale here, it's going to be 52.8 with large PTFE skates. With dot skates is going to be 49 point something, 0.7 I'm pretty sure. Anyways, for $79 you're getting the latest Nordic MCU technology on the receiver and the mouse, a better sensor and clicks, so everyone will be going for the Air version compared to the Ultimate and Ultra Max. Now let's talk about the clicks and build quality a little bit. First of all, the weight balancing here is absolutely great, just like the G Pro X Superlight, as well as how sturdy the mouse is. I don't hear any creaking whatsoever. This is probably even more solid than the Duckbill, than the F1 Extreme, and a lot of other ATK mice I have tried. This one is absolutely solid, even though they lowered on the weight compared to the previous A9s that were 59 grams. For the click implementation here, as you can see, there's a tiny bit of wobble side to side, but there is low pre-travel and low post-travel. Absolutely amazing click experience on these. As I said, it's using the ATK Swiftlight optical switches, which are the based on Dastrozac Discord at least, Kale optical switches. In my opinion, they feel better than the FEs, at least on my ATK Duckbill. The ATK U2 V2 is using the FE opticals, and in my opinion, these Kale opticals just are a little crispier, a little snappier, a little bit lighter to click. In terms of spammability, they're all the same. I mean, I'm just being nitpicky here. All these clicks just perform great, low latency, they all feel great. But personally, I prefer these. However, we can't say that these are better than the Omron opticals. Omron opticals are just superior, but I wish if the Omron opticals were still implemented in these $80 mice. I don't think that's possible anymore, at least for ATK. And compared to the G Pro X Superlight, they're less heavier. These Superlight are also crisp and nice, but they're a little bit heavier than the ATK 9. I enjoy the A9 Air clicks. The scroll wheel positioning on here is the same as the Superlight positioning. However, it's a little bit smaller. I don't know if you can see it on camera or not. And in terms of the feel, it's a tiny bit on the loose side. However, it's just a standard implementation. It feels great. The steps are defined, and it's just a good scroll wheel. In terms of the spammability, it's very spammable. And the ATK implementation recently are very perfect in terms of the spammability. This is why I'm maining a lot of ATK mice recently, because if you watch my earlier reviews, I enjoy spammable middle button wheels, and this is definitely the best I've tried. And talking about these side clicks here, it's probably my only con. As you can see, they don't protrude too much outwards. This is just personal opinion, by the way. As you can see, the U2 V2 kind of protrude out a little bit more. I don't know if you can see that from the bottom better here. As you can see, they're very spammable, really nice stiff click. There is no post travel. They don't sink into the shell or anything. The positioning of the clicks is absolutely perfect, just like the Superlight. They just require a tiny bit of more force compared to a lot of mice out there. And this is not just with this mouse. A lot of ATK mice require a little bit of pressure on the side clicks. I hope they improve that actually in the future. That's it for the clicks. I will give you a sound test in a second. Let's just talk about these skates, right? And then move on to the performance. I'm a really big fan of these skates. Let me show you real quick. As you can see, they have really nice rounded edges and the adhesive doesn't go on the sides here when I apply it. They're just like really good quality skates, just as good as the Tiger Ice, Core Pads, and all those popular ones that I've tried in the past with the Superlight. The speed is medium on cloth pads like my Artisan Zero, which is the standard pad that I keep mentioning all the time. And on glass pads, they're also, I'm surprised they're smooth and not very loud. You can use large skates on glass pads. And now let me give you a quick sound test of the clicks. Finally, talking about the performance of the ATK A9 Air, and what I want to mention here is the feeling difference between the Nordic 54L15 MCU compared to the H20. They both came recently at the same time. The H20, however, is a tiny bit more expensive and it only comes in flagships. The L15 is cheaper, and the only difference here is going to be, at least the difference I feel, is the power consumption. Anything else, they're definitely the same. Even though on the F1 they claim to have a 0.00 whatever millisecond differences, I cannot feel that whatsoever. And if anyone claims that they feel the difference between the H20 and the L15, they're either some Kovacs superhuman demons or they just are lying to you basically. And the latest mice or ATK mice that have these technology give me the exact feeling of the Hero 2 sensor on the G Pro X Superlight and the exclusive Viper V3 Pro sensors that come very early. I'm not glazing this mouse too much because it was sent out for review, but there's just no flaws at all I can find beside the side buttons. As you guys know, they have a web-based software, obviously, with some nice settings like the sensor rotational thing, the LOD adjustment by 0.1 increments, and if you're asking me about the polling rate stability, I don't play 8K anymore, unfortunately, but I will confirm that on 2K, this mouse is flawless. 2K is very stable. I don't recommend playing on 8K or 4K. I don't recommend playing on 1K either because the battery isn't that small compared to the F1 that has 200 milliamps. I think 2K is the sweet spot. One more thing, just keep that 20K scan rate disabled. It drains the battery so fast. So again, I am very excited to see what ATK have to produce in 2026. I will be reviewing the U2 V2 soon in the next few days or weeks. I don't know exactly, but this mouse also comes for $79. So if you're still watching to this part of the video and you haven't liked it yet, you're probably just trolling. Subscribing is also appreciated. Thanks to ATK for sending this unit over for review, and buying it from the affiliated link in the description below supports me a lot, even with $3 or whatever. I always appreciate your support. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in another one.